Hello LAP, this is Brandon Reisinger coming to you with your Chairman's Report. We'll start off with the order bank. The Escape is at $31,769. The Corsair is at $3,585 for a total of $35,354. Our schedule looks to stay fairly the same. There is still a tentative down week scheduled for the week of February 10th. Now the 10th is a Monday, so when I say that I'm talking about the week of Valentine's Day. Again, that's tentative until the company puts it out. Please don't go making plans, but it does look like that's going to happen. If it does happen, from what I'm being told, all trades, including apprentices, will be working that week. They've got some maintenance stuff that they need to get done that week, so you guys will be working. There's also a plan for all final team leaders to have team leader training that week. That's going to be the 40-hour training that we haven't done in several years. We got a updated version of that I believe just got rolled out either right before or right after Christmas. So they're planning on doing that for the final team leaders. I'm also being told that Body has plans to run service parts. So there will be some folks that will be working. I can't sit here and tell you for certain which ones will and which ones won't as far as body shop goes, but I am hearing final team leaders going to be in training and that the trades are going to be working. The majority of the plant should have your waiting week behind you at this point. So I look for everybody to get a check from unemployment this time around. Because of that, sub should handle itself automatically as well. The only time where you should need a manual sub card is going to be if it is your waiting week. Let's say you were on a medical leave during the last down week or something along those lines, or if you've got an invalid claim. We've got some folks, if you were on medical for a long time last year and you don't have sufficient wages, you could have an invalid claim. You should have a letter that comes in the mail from the unemployment office. They'll e-file for us. Typically they send it the Friday before we go out. Usually around Wednesday, you'll get something in the mail from the unemployment office. You open that up, it's going to be your letter saying that it's an invalid claim, you've got insufficient wages. You'll need to take that to labor and fill out a sub card if you're in that boat as well. Profit sharing FAQ came out yesterday, and I say FAQ because it's not an official announcement. It's a union bulletin breaking down what they've gotten from the company. I will tell you this, from what we've seen in the past, the average is what the company's given them and should be the average. The hourly compensated hours, the dollar amount per hour, they always tell you on there that this is an example and that rounding could be used, but from what we've seen, it's usually within a penny, one direction or the other. So what we've got from this so far is that the average profit sharing for this year is going to be $10,208. Again, that's an average. If you worked less hours, you could be looking at not making that much. If you worked a whole lot of hours, you could be looking at making more than that. From what we've seen in the past, usually the average does require a little bit of overtime to get there. So if you're somebody that worked a flat 40, you're somebody that had a medical, you're somebody that had an FMLA, probably looking at a lower amount than that. I would say the average person that came to work every day last year ought to be at or just below what they're putting out as that average amount. So $10,208 is what they're saying is the average. The hourly amount is $4.61. That's our multiplier this year. Again, it says example, so it could end up being $4.60. It could end up being $4.62, but it's usually really close. If you're wanting to figure out your hours to figure out what you're going to make, let me give you a quick breakdown of what hours are included in that. So that is all hours worked. And let me elaborate on that a little bit. It's not just your straight time. It's all hours, but it's all hours at straight time rate. So if you have a 50-hour week, it counts as 50 hours. It doesn't count as 55. The time and a half doesn't count. If you worked an 8 hours on Sunday, You get credit for 8 hours on that. You don't get credit for 16. But all hours worked do count towards that calculation. Vacation time and excused time count. If you did not use all of your vacation and excused time and some of it got cashed out at the end of the year, those count as well. Holiday counts, bereavement, apprentice training hours where you were paid by the company, those count. Jury duty, short-term military duty, and family days, those all count as well. So if you wanted to go figure it out, it is possible to go look at your paycheck stubs from the first week of January. Basically, when you go on the pay stub site, if you look at everything that falls under that 2024 year, all of those checks, you can figure out how many hours you have using the ones that I just listed. I know a lot of people like to ask the committee person if they can figure out how many hours they've got. We do not have a good way of doing that. The closest thing that even comes close is labor's ability to run an FMLA report, but the FMLA report doesn't capture all of this stuff either, and they're not going to run one for everybody in the plant. So if you're wanting to try and figure out your hours to get an idea of what you're going to get, best way to do it is to go through check by check. You'll probably spend an hour doing it, but you can come up with a pretty close number. If you're wanting to change your elections for your bonus contribution into your 401k, whether you already have some going in and you want to adjust that up or adjust it down, or you don't have any going into it and you want to contribute some, the cutoff for that is February 28th at 4 p.m. You've got to have it done by then in order for it to take effect for this year for this bonus. One thing I will say, in the past we have seen if you put 100% into your 401k, it is going to cause you some issues. You better be prepared for that, because although money going into your 401k does not get federally taxed, it still does get hit with the FICA, and it also gets hit with state and local taxes. So if you put 100% of a $10,000 bonus into your TESPI, you're probably going to end up owing $1,500 to $2,000 in taxes on that still, that are going to get taken out of your next paycheck or your next couple of paychecks. So that's something to be aware of. If you're going to try and contribute the max that you can, I've heard a lot of guys say that 70% is probably that safe area. Anything beyond that, you're liable to end up owing out of your next paycheck. So just wanted to make sure everybody understood that. Let's see here. We've got profit sharing. Stuff that's coming up. So monthly membership meeting is going to be Tuesday, February 11th. That's at LAP at 1 p.m. and 6 p.m. Look forward to seeing you at one of those. And also at the plant, we are doing Football Spirit Day to show team support on Friday, February 7th. So wear your favorite jersey. That is not locked into NFL or college. If you want to wear your kids' high school stuff, feel free to. But Football Support Day, Friday, February 7th. That's all we've got for this week, and we'll see you next week. Thanks.